Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another video. We start today's news with South Korea maintaining their ban on ICOs. So, South Korea's top financial regulator has said it will not lift the ban on domestic initial coin offerings after finding that some projects have been violating rules. As ICO investment is a high-risk activity, the Financial Services Commission (FSC) said calling on the public to exercise caution when leaving in token projects, according to a report from CoinDesk Korea. The FSC decision was informed by the results of a survey conducted by Financial Supervisory Services (FSS), indicating that some ICOs purportedly conducted abroad had also illegally raised money from Korean investors. From September 2018, the FSS sent the survey questionnaire to 22 local firms and conducted ICOs in foreign countries, of which 13 responded. The companies had held the ICOs since the second half of 2018, raising a combined total of 566.4 billion won, which is $509 million. The research found that the firms had been setting up paper companies in Singapore to circumvent the ICO ban, yet still raise money from Koreans, as evident from Korean language white papers and marketing materials. Sneaky. Some ICO projects did also not disclose important information for investors, such as company profile and investment statements, and in some cases provided false information, the survey found. The risk for investors was also deemed high because the value of the project tokens had fallen by an average of 66.7% since launch. So obviously it's very difficult to have a blanket country ban on ICOs because it's people could set up exchanges in other countries with different addresses or sort of PO box things and ask other people to buy it on their behalf and transfer the money to them once the ICO is over through websites like Binance. But I think we went through a year of 2017 and 2018 and found a high portion of ICOs weren't the best projects, and like the article says, which I do agree with, often the prices of the ICOs did drop after they had launched onto exchanges. They were offering at say $2, and they dropped at around 67%, which is obviously a massive drop in price. As projects don't seem to lift off the ground, even though they have secured funding. So, and also on top of that, you've got now sort of the issue of ICOs being classed as securities and having to do with Securities and Exchange Commission for various countries. For example, America, you will have them knocking on your door asking for various bits of information, and potentially as a security, you might be expected to pay out dividends or profit sharing because you almost have a share in a company now, which is why a lot of companies are now doing airdrops or forming other ways to distribute crypto. South Korea is obviously a very progressive country in technology, and very progressive in terms of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies which are around. But the ICO ban stays, and I think it does serve a purpose of banning it. The positives are outweighed by the negatives of ICOs. We obviously know all the scams of 2017 and 2018. What they should do if they were going to regulate ICOs, they should almost do it in a way of like a Kickstarter type project where you invest money, but you almost have a contract-based investment where you invest so much ether, you should get your money back if, for example, the project doesn't reach its goals, or possibly they don't raise enough money. So they should do it as a smart contract. And then, I almost have sort of an epiphany. Why don't they have a smart contract for ICOs, and money only gets sent? Everyone pays in, but money only gets released, to the project once they've initially done a bunch of steps. And I guess you depend on how much you pay in, depending on which steps you're paying into. Because obviously the whole point of an ICO is to get investment for a product, and then they can go do this project. So that way it will protect investors from scammy projects. Now, for example, if they said they're going to I don't know, introduce a payment processing system to 200 companies, and they don't manage to do that, then I would expect the investor to get the return, so the investment back. Um, and that should be registered with the local government of whichever country they're in, and that way would ICOs wouldn't have this sort of bad stigma attached to them. A lot of countries have banned ICOs. They don't think ICOs are very good. There's a far difference between an ICO and an IPO. Whereas, I could go make a cryptocurrency today, do an ICO, get a white paper which is probably what's it called, copied or sort of fabricated, and put that on my website and claim this and claim that, and I will get investment. I probably will get investment. I think the US government did an ICO, fake ICO, and they just put it out there with fake white paper and a website, and people invested. And then I think the government said, hey, this is a fake ICO. You've now actually invested into a scam. Obviously, we'll return your money, but beware of fake ICOs. And that was a way to people to realize actually they really need to do their research when investing into an ICO. Read the white paper, look at websites, look at reviews, really scrutinize what you're investing. Whether you're investing in $1, $1,000, whatever it may be, you potentially could lose money, and nobody wants to lose money. We invest in Bitcoin on the projection that it's going to make money. Yes, at there's also a possibility that Bitcoin could drop and it could move to zero after whatever, but our probability of that happening is less likely than it reaching $50,000, as opposed to an ICO where you're not entirely sure. If you look at the actual ICOs which existed, there weren't many in its history on the cryptocurrency project that have made it very successfully. I think Neo was an ICO which reached I think $150 and started last year, but that's the only one I can really think of which has done remarkably well compared to other ICOs. So, as always, I'd like to know your thoughts and be careful on ICOs. So there's two articles I want to talk about, and again, unfortunately, it's come down to SCACs, hacks and scams. The first one is Cryptopia, and yet another hack. Hackers just stole another $188,000 of Ether or in Ether from Cryptopia exchange. Now, at the moment, if you go to the Cryptopia website, it's down. It says they're since the 14th of Jan, and the message states that they're down and they're complying with local law enforcement. So hackers apparently still have control over New Zealand's based cryptocurrency exchange Cryptopia. Blockchain data analytics from Elementus said in a blog post Tuesday that Cryptopia's hacker, after going quiet for some days, have stolen an additional 1,675 Ether from 17,000 wallets, an amount worth about $181,000 at the time of writing. While initially it looked like Cryptopia might be moving cryptocurrency to secure the remaining user funds, the Ether were being sent to an Ethereum address used by hacker previously said by the firm. The hacker has the private keys and can withdraw funds from Cryptopia with wallet at will. Not good. Elementus also said that some wallets are still being topped up, suggesting that not all users know about the breach. I don't know how they're still accessing the funds though. There must be. Right, so I think the way possibly it's still going in is through mining pools. I've done that through years ago in a cloud mining. Money just keeps going to an address which is still there. You still pay in and you just can't see your funds. And it does actually go and say that most of the funds are coming from mining pools. The firm added presumably these payments are being sent on behalf of miners who opted to receive their rewards automatically via direct deposits and since forgotten about it. Last week, Elementus published another analysis indicating that $16 million worth of Ether and ERC20 tokens had been stolen from Cryptopia wallets. I'm not going to keep reading this. Obviously, this is again still continuation about where you're keeping your money. And there's two parts. There's this unfortunate information, obviously not good news for Cryptopia, and I don't expect people to be rushing back to sign up to Cryptopia anytime soon or if it does reopen. And then this article, cookie miner malware tries to hack Mac users' cryptocurrency exchange, and it's something else we all need to be aware of. Lovely graphic there if you're not looking at the screen. It looks like tentacles just completely infecting the computer. A new form of malware stores cookies from cryptocurrency exchanges and other data in an attempt to hack users' account. Cybersecurity research team Palo Alto Networks reported on Jan 31st. Cookie Miner, a progression of OS X, which is obviously Mac virus, Darth Miner, is a malware targets Mac users stealing saved Google Chrome passwords, iPhone SMS messages, and iTunes backups on tethered machines, and more. Along with cookies, the goal of the malware is to gain access to cryptocurrency exchanges accounts, according to Palo Alto. The hackers assumed the combination of stolen data would allow them to bypass the multi-layer authentication that many users set up to provide additional security. If successful, the hackers would have full access to the victim's exchange account and or wallet and be able to use the funds if they were users themselves, the firm summarized. As the name suggests, the malware also stores cryptocurrency mining features. Again, I'm not going to continue to read. So, the summary of these two things is keeps going back to my original point about keeping your money safe. If you're going to sign up to a exchange like Binance or Coinbase or Kraken, make sure you turn on two-factor authentication, and make sure you turn on two-factor authentication with Authenticator, which is a Google app, or Authy, which is I think owned by another company. Try not to use SMS for two-factor. It's very easy to spoof SMS to receive two-factor. If you've got it set up in Binance, just turn it off. Be careful. Maybe if you can, use your Chrome browser as incognito mode. That way cookies aren't stored. Scan your machine regularly for viruses. Also, you could even, if you really were that being cautious, you can use virtual machines to log into your cryptocurrency accounts where you know nothing's on that machine. There's many ways and many steps we can keep us safe, but ultimately it goes back to keeping your large funds offline in cold storage or on offline wallets. So something that even I still need to move some funds I've got elsewhere onto my cold storage, but I'm just advising everybody else to do the same. It still goes back to proof of keys from earlier this year about keeping your money safe, and Cryptopia and this is just another story that I said earlier in one of my first or few videos. We're going to get more of these, and these are going to keep coming and keep coming. There's always opportunities out there. Just like, for example, you leave your car unlocked and you've got money or change or your phone there, an opportunity to walk past and see the car unlocked, and if nobody's around, they'll take it. And the second thing with this, opportunists will see that there's machines vulnerable who are not protected or who have got Chrome passwords and not 2FA or 2FA via SMS or tethered devices where they can tap into information and steal it. And the opportunists. Same with Cryptopia. Someone's still got access to private keys of wallets and is still stealing money out of there, even though Cryptopia has probably tried to transfer the money funds offline. People are still getting in there if they've got the private keys. So keep your private keys safe. Know where your money is. Always look at the websites or exchanges where you are. Look out for the news where the money is. You have to stay on top of it. When you're in the cryptocurrency game, this is not a bank where you throw your money into a bank account and you don't need to worry about it because you're protected by the government, you're protected by theft, whatever. Here you have to take so much more of a proactive approach of where your money sits. Check it regularly. A lot of these apps now use, you don't need to type any information in, especially on the phones where you just log in via facial recognition or fingerprint, so you're not actually typing stuff in, so if nobody can actually log what you're doing. So check your accounts regularly, make sure you are seeing the right amounts in your account. If you find things suspicious, then obviously contact Binance or the currency exchange or try transferring the funds out. Be vigilant, basically, and it's very important to be vigilant in the cryptocurrency game because unfortunately there's been many examples that I've read over the years of how opportunities people with opportunities try to take your money. An example was the Ledger S Nano. A couple of years ago, a person bought one from eBay, and he was sent a he was sent the 24 key phrase password in it, and the pin number was already set up, and he just assumed this was normal, and he had bought something like 7,000 pounds, or about $9,000 or $10,000 worth of Bitcoin at the time. He checked his wallet and the money was gone. And then he put a post up on Reddit and realized that actually you're supposed to set the PIN number, and you're supposed to write down the 24 password phrase. Luckily, the CTO or COO of Ledger was in that Reddit thread and said to me, let's take this offline, we'll try and get your money back, we'll find out what happened, where did you buy this from, eBay, who was the seller, blah blah. Obviously we don't know what happened with that, but there was an opportunity for a hacker or somebody to do something malicious to steal funds. So let's just keep ourselves safe out there and keep an eye on where our money is. As always, be vigilant, guys. Anyway, let's move on. So I just wanted to end with just looking at the market and where we are on a Friday at 11:45 in the UK. Market is up very slightly. Bitcoin dominance has gone up. 24-hour volume is special, and we're sitting at $114 billion. And even though the news of Swift with R3 Corda, and obviously in contribution or slight partnership with R3 with XR Ripple, the price has obviously gone up. Obviously, it's not sustained its highs, which I didn't expect it to do more than it had on Wednesday. In fact, it slightly dropped. The price was 32 cents, and we're sitting at 30.9, so around 31 cents. So it dropped 1 cent since that news came out. Again, I didn't expect that to be running a list. If it turned out that Swift had partnered with Ripple and they were going to use XRapid, then we would expect to see something else. Unfortunately, no. Again, I spoke yesterday. I expect more sideways move. I expect us to go down, further down. I don't think that many of these prices will hold today. We might move into the red again, like we were earlier. The volume is okay for a lot of these currencies, but it seems people are still pumping their money back into Tether. So yeah, I think my prediction of March will be when, I spoke about yesterday, is when we probably will start moving into hopefully bullish sentiment, only because there isn't much going on with the market in terms of money or investment coming in until March, and unfortunately individuals, which I spoke about, don't seem to move until investors move in, and then the price will increase and they will struggle to get Bitcoin at these prices. So again, I keep saying it, in my opinion, I'm still buying the good coins, the ones I've mentioned a number of times. I'd like to know what you guys are doing, what you guys are buying. Are you pulling out? I would like everybody to buy and not sell. That would be fantastic in a utopian society. But obviously, people will pull out if they don't think their funds are going to do well or they need the money. So only invest as much as you can afford to lose, and sometimes don't look at the prices. Like I said, keep an eye on your exchanges, keep an eye on the money there, but try not to focus or obsess too much on the actual price of the currency. We expect bull run this year. We need a sustained bull run for around 12 to 18 months to keep the market going. We had, that may sound ridiculous, but if you look at the traditional markets, after the market crash 2008, the markets went on a 10-year bull run. A lot of the exchanges, the New York Stock Exchange, Dow Jones, the FTSE, they all reached all-time highs. So they can go for 10 years. We can go for 18 months. I'll leave it there, guys. Let me know what you think. As always, thank you very much for listening, liking, subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next video.